welcome back to Behind the Joystick. In this episode, we get to talk to the one, the only, Edward Varnell. He has been such an inspiration to me getting into this space, whether it's podcasting, learning about indie games, and I was lucky enough to sit down and chat with him live at PAX East, and it was so great to just pick his brain in the space and figure out and learn more on what he's planning to do. So sit back, enjoy, and if you're into trying to make a podcast, this one is for you.
I am Edward Varnell. I am co-founder of Boss Rush Media. I host Nintendo Pow Block. We have been doing this for 8 years with Corey, Derek, and one of our alumni founders, Jesse Douglas.
That's awesome. That's very cool. So it was like a group of you guys that just kind of like, we're going to do podcasts.
Yes, well, we go way back. A couple of years ago, we were a different network. And then we became Nerds Gone Rogue, and then we kind of transitioned to some other names, and then we let it on Boss Rush Network. And
Nice.
As we grew with our community and with our shows and podcasts, we became Boss Rush Media.
That's awesome. And like Boss Rush itself has just been like such a good networking for like people who want to be in the gaming space and are just trying to get started, get their foot in, whether it's writing, whether it's podcasting, even whether nowadays it's social media. If people want to be in that aspects, they're able to edit or help record, or Corey's kind of let loose on the aspects of Boss Rush. So it's very nice to have that in that space. So for Nintendo Pow Block, because that's mainly like the one that you work on.
Yes.
So what is Nintendo Pow Block?
Nintendo Pow Block is a show that we talk all things Nintendo. We focus on news, topics that you might think is not Nintendo related, but they are. Of course, we talk about snacks in our segment called Snacktendos, where we talk about food that we find or snacks that we find, give them a taste, and then let people know, would this be the food of the summer? Is this the anointings of the food? Or this food might be questionable content
Right.
and everything. And we do that. Of course, we do also talk about what we've been playing, but then we'll sometimes definitely have a topic. We'd like to do side tangents, and our side tangents end up leading to our other shows like One Up and Expansion Pass, where we just have kind of sometimes no format, but we have a question that we come up, like one topic, and then have a discussion around that topic.
That's awesome. Now, for Snacktendo, we're currently here on our 4th day at PAX East.
Yes.
Have you tried any snacks? Is there anything that you're like, oh my god, this was so good?
So we had tacos, which was amazing. We recently had some ramen and some sweet and sour pork spare ribs.
Oh, wow.
And I had 4 of them. I was messy
Oh, I
because
believe
the
it.
sauce was so good. And I just had a taste of the spare ribs. I love Asian food, and when I think about spare ribs, I think of the small mini ones with the orange sauce.
Oh, yeah.
Not this one.
No, these were big ones.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
had ramen that was really good, and for my first time, I ate it with the sticks,
Oh, nice.
chopsticks, and ate it because I normally eat ramen with a fork.
Okay.
So and then everybody, I had an adult beverage. I like to say that. I had sake. Hot sake
Okay,
today.
how was that?
It was an experience because not only was it hot, and I had to let it cool down. Something in it was just like super strong. So I was just
really? Oh no.
But as it got I think it was the heat of it. As it got cooled down, I just started one shot and everything.
Yeah.
I think if I find some sake, I need to find something sweeter.
Yeah.
As an Aries, we kind of don't like hot stuff because far as our side, and there's some sour stuff that I'm like, "Ee." But
Right.
if I get something sweet, go.
Right. It's you're blinking an eye and go, wait, where'd it
Yes.
go?
Yes, but that was my first time having sake, and that was a great experience. Had some great pizza here at the convention at PAX East and everything. And then pretty much had a grilled chicken. Haven't got to get into any snacks here, so I'm
Oh,
looking
man.
for some sweet stuff before I leave here.
That's the
Um,
mission.
and to go.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah,
And then so far, your PAX experience, how's that been?
PAX experience was insanely amazing.
That's awesome.
I did, even though I did play some games, I did a lot of in-depth interviews with a lot of creators, a lot of developers. Me and you, Nelly, we got to talk to the team making royalty free for all. Me and you even collab doing
Yeah.
Fresh Light, which was a amazing experience. Just seeing the passion and hearing them talk, and then me getting to play the game and be like, I need the soundtrack. I was just like, can I get this music? But just like the interviews with everybody has been so amazing. And I know a lot of developers, they get nervous, they don't know what to say.
Right.
But they said they felt so comfortable having this interview with me because you can do the pinpoint, kind of interview.
Right.
But when you make it about them and make it about the team and just want to learn who they are and what they do, it makes interviewing them so much fun.
No, for sure.
And then I actually got to tell them, hey, I got 2 additional questions to you. They're going to be fun. I've been asking everybody what game has earned their stripes, and then I asked them what's their go-to snack.
That's awesome.
While they're developing, maybe they're relaxing, and I have got a lot of different answers.
That's awesome.
Which is really, really cool. My last person that I interviewed on Saturday said that he loves bubble tea, and we had a good discussion about bubble tea.
That's
Because I
awesome.
told him, I'm like, just last year, bubble tea has become popular in the States because now you can see it everywhere. You can't see it. You wasn't seeing bubble tea besides Japan, and now
Right.
it's everywhere. But yeah, the developers have been amazing. Spoke to people from Canada, from Poland, here in the States. Really amazing people, really passionate developers, composers, artists, and I'm super excited to see what more they have.
That's awesome. Now, if y'all want to figure out what their game that's earned their stripes or their snacks, we will put it in the link below whenever you are ready to have that fully fledged and edited for
Yes.
the viewers to hear. For this though, I do kind of want to pick your brain on where do you think, like, for Nintendo Pow Block, how was it like created? Like, what do you think were like the tough parts of like making a podcast from just from scratch?
One of the things is that you don't know how people are going to gel together. Um, when Corey was doing DNA, Digital Nerds, goodness, can I think of the A part? I'm sorry. But when he was doing DNA, he found me on Nintendo Pow Block, not Nintendo Pow Block, the Nintendo podcast from IGN,
Okay.
Nintendo Voice Chat, and he just linked up with me and everything. And when I see his stuff, and we weren't podcasting, we weren't even friends yet, because I was doing my own podcast, Optional Opinion. He reached out to me and was just like, would you like to do a Nintendo podcast? Because I was always in NBC. I was just like, yes, I'm down.
Yeah.
And me and my other friend, Adrian Nieto, he came on. And, we all three, first thing we talked about, because you don't know how things going to go, we talked about The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild
Yeah.
on Wii U.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
it had just got announced. And we didn't even, I don't think we had known the name of it just yet. But then, like, me and Corey we started connecting and everything. He's just like, you want to do it again? And every time, I was just like, yes. I was ready to leave work to get home to do Pow Block.
Right.
And ever since me and Corey just gel, we still love Adrian. But, he's a developer making games too, so his life got busy. And, we just worked with other people throughout the years and stuff. But yeah, we are just knowing who we was going to gel with
Right.
and everything. That was kind of like, the worrisome part, but you don't worry when you're podcasting. You don't
Right.
worry about how many people are going to hear it, how many people are going to see us. Because when you're starting small, you really are starting small. You may not be known for a lot, but give it time. Press through, and you will see that big things can happen. You
That's
know,
awesome.
I Corey thanks me for a lot, and I thank him for a lot. And I told him, hey, let's not give up on the stream. Let's keep going. I'm like, when has it stopped us? We got this far. Let's continue to go.
Right.
And it's because of Nintendo Pow Block that we've been pushing through.
That's
You know,
awesome.
So we're making an ad. Hello, welcome to the ad. I'm here to promote to you guys our Patreon. We've launched our Patreon. It's very exciting. Thank you to the people who have supported already. This is a wild experiment, and I am very excited to share our journey. And just the amazing things that happen there. If you want to learn more about our Patreon, we release early accesses to the podcast. We have a tier base where you're able to get merch or be the first people to get the merch. Whether we're coming up with next things that are coming up in the following months, to even the merch we have in there now. If you don't want to be a part of Patreon, we also do sell shirts right now. It's exciting. It's a crazy ride. If you haven't bought your shirt yet and asked me why the website isn't launched, I'm working on it. Okay, I thought I hit the right button, but I guess I didn't. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the podcast, and thank you for letting me put my little ad sprinkle into this.
It's really good. And so, I mean, y'all pushed through enough to where now, like, we're able to come into PAX as like a full team, and you've picked up like really good writers and other podcasters like Pat, who's doing the video game book club,
Yes.
and then you have Steph doing spotlights, and it's like, and then you have LaRon doing After Dark.
yes.
So it's like you've became this network of just friends. This isn't like corporate. There's no, oh, we need to do paperwork. We need to do HQ. Like, this was all, we feel the vibe of you. You feel the vibe of us, and then we just do it. And I hope that like people who are in the space or even in the gaming space are able to find that connection.
Yes.
Just as well as Boss Rush has, because I feel like that is the strongest foundation that the network has, and it is what is making it grow. Because
Right.
I mean, even with the network of friends, we're still networking outside of it, just like
Right.
at PAX or at CECC or DreamHack Dallas or the Summer Games Fest or any of the events that we either attend or we live stream. We're able to go, hey, this is Boss Rush.
Right.
Boss Rush, this is us, and it just kind of blossoms from that. I do want to ask from your perspective, because even the 8 years that y'all have been Boss Rush, you've also had to deal with like the pandemic. Do you think that like was kind of like a wedge in Boss Rush itself, or how do you feel that did for y'all?
There really wasn't no wedge, because we did most of the shows in our homes anyway.
Right.
We record just from different places and everything. So I think the draw to it was that this is content for people who are at home, who need something to do, who need something to listen. So let's create it and work from that space. And with people being home during the pandemic, they can hear something. They can
Right.
be like entertained about my hot take on something, or my crazy theory or something, or here we are recapping the Nintendo Direct and stuff. Like, we
Yeah.
still continue to make content, even through this difficult time, because something this may get people to be like, okay, I'm gonna check out Nintendo. I don't got nothing else to do, and
Right.
then what I love is getting the response, because I know there's going to be somebody out there who hears something probably from me. They'll probably agree with Corey, hear something from me and go crazy, and just be like, that's the feedback I want. Thank you for letting me know that you have a different opinion. Listen to next week. Continue
Yes.
to listen, because you never know what I might say.
Right,
and everything.
honestly.
But you'll get to a point where you may feel mad or upset, but you also may be entertained because now we got you interacting,
Yeah.
which gives you something to do. And I always tell people, I'm like, hey, if you don't like my opinion, that's fine. You can leave us, a comment. But I'm like, here at Boss Rush, if there's something that we don't agree about, we write it.
Yeah.
And when we write it, we come with a thoughtful writing. So if you want to join us, we got a great writing team. David is doing a phenomenal job as editor-in-chief. We got great copywriters and stuff. My
Yeah.
work is whatever. But come on. If you disagree about my writing, then come write. Say your piece. Because my thing for me is I'm going to share your writing.
Right.
I'm going to congratulate you on speaking your voice.
Right. But not only that, I mean, it gives them a chance to potentially change your mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, I'm like, if you don't want to write, but yet you want to respond, come on the podcast.
Yeah.
Come on the expansion pass. I come on when we want. I can have this discussion with you because the thing about it is, you think you're gonna say all of these things, and then realize that when you interact with me, you about to fall out laughing.
Oh, yeah.
And the thing about it is, we're making content. I'm not driving you in to make that content, but we are making content. We are making the discussion, and you will actually realize that I was afraid to say something, but you made me feel good saying something, and you respected my opinion. You respected my voice and everything.
That's awesome. So, what would you say, like, Boss Rush now, from now to the next 5 years? What do you think would be like in the works?
What would be in the works?
Yeah.
Hopefully, we get an editor for the podcast. But I really just hope that we continue to grow. I hope we do continue to get listeners around the world. I hope that we get people who want to join a podcast and want to speak on it because hearing the podcast, you feel comfortable. Doing the podcast, people are nervous as ever, and they say this is my first time doing it. But if you make them feel welcome, if you make them feel fun, you respect their voice, you give them a chance to talk, say their piece and stuff. There are some rules to some things, definitely on some shows, but if you give them that space and everything, you'll see how Boss Rush allows you to grow as a person.
Yeah.
You're at one point when you start a podcast, and this takes years, it takes episodes for you to become a different person.
Oh,
By
yeah.
time, you're not a professional doing podcasts.
No.
Trust me, it takes years. Before I even did Nintendo Pow Block and podcasts with other people, doing optional opinion, it took me years because I do podcasts. This is one person who was recording it, doing the music, but also coming to the topics and making points and stuff and putting it out there. Now, I might not have got some listeners. I might have not got a lot of listeners, but I was proud of the work that I was doing because I was on that mic and I was speaking my voice.
What would you give for advice-wise, what kind of advice would you give to someone who's starting a podcast? Like, what would be like one piece of advice that you would be like, here's your advice as a young 20-year-old, wanting to be in the gaming space and wanting to create in that space?
Know that your shows are going to be jank for a while. And I'm being literal honest. It's going to be jank because you're trying to find the flow of your show and everything.
Yeah.
Don't give up after 4 episodes.
Right.
Trust me. You may not get no kind of listeners, but if you promote, if you put your podcast out, if you just tell people about it, there is going to be some listeners. It's going to grab some attention. And even if when people reply that, oh, your show is questionable content, your show is garbage and all of this stuff, always respond with, thank you for letting me know your opinion. Then you hit them back to be like, tell me what part of the show do you have an opinion on that I can make better?
Right.
Because believe me, a lot of people might say your show might suck and might say that it's bad and stuff, and they would never give you feedback personally on what part it is. Because if you don't see no part, if they don't respond and they don't give you no part, they're just trying to make you feel a certain way. Because trust me, the people who say that you suck would never try to do a podcast or, do what we do. Go out and do an interview with somebody.
Yeah.
They will be like, I don't, yeah.
Exactly.
It's easy for you to say stuff, but doing the work, that person may not even be up to it. So, yes, just know that it's not going to be at the best, but you are going to, you got to persist. You got to push through and stuff, and don't give up. And even if you did it for 2 years and you feel like nothing is happening, still don't give up or connect with a network.
Yeah.
Get yourself out there, and whatever you do, be proud of what you do, of your work, because guess what? Somebody's going to find you those 200 episodes or whatever, that 2 years of work, and they're going to give it to a listen, and you're going to start seeing stuff.
Oh yeah, you are. Now, what advice? This is my final question. What advice would you give you before the podcast?
What final advice will I give myself?
Yeah, going into it, like young Ed, going into the podcasting space, going into your very first one, mind you, not just Pow Block, not before Boss Rush, before all of it.
The first thing I would have gave myself is, don't be afraid to speak. Don't be afraid to look up at another person and speak to them.
That's
Because
awesome.
definitely, as a kid, being shy or being made fun of kind of affects your confidence and stuff.
It does.
And you're doing something, regardless of the results. Know you're going to get better, and know that something big is going to happen.
That's awesome.
Here at PAX, the interviews that I did and everything.
Yeah.
Like when I was doing interviews even at the first PAX East, I knew it was something that I loved doing, because it was just like, this is a podcast to me in a sense, but these discussions not only is making me feel amazing, but also these developers. I'm like, I would never be able to talk to the people that I talk to if I was
Right.
still shy. If I didn't be able to do a podcast and connect with a network, and grow over these years. So I would tell my young self, don't be shy. Speak up.
Yeah.
If people gonna laugh at you, let them laugh.
Let them laugh. That's awesome.
Because guess what? They don't get a chance to hang out with Ben Starr.
No.
Or meet all of these other developers and give someone like Ben Starr your car instead at a Starbucks.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, no, that was an opportunity. And if you stayed, like the past self you, looking at Ben Starr, you'd been like, there's no way I could talk to him.
Right.
So I'm gonna go this way instead of, you know what? Hi, here's my stuff.
Shoot, at PAX West, me and Nelly was playing the game, and we seen Shuhei.
Okay.
And we didn't get to say hi to him because he had security, he was moving. But if we would have got a chance to say hi to him, it would have been like on point. Love Sony too, love Microsoft. But my interaction, I wish I would have been able to have that interaction with him and just be like, thank you for just still being positive about gaming and having a love for it.
That's awesome. Now, where can people find you on the internet?
Well, you guys can find me on Twitter at @ThatRetroCode. You can find me on Blue Sky at Elite Block Agent. You can find Nintendo Pow Block every Monday. You can find Expansion Pass and one up on our Patreon. It does come to our YouTube channel, which is at Boss Rush Media. But for $5 or whatever price point you sign up for, you would get those shows for free, ad free. We have great discussions on there. At $5 you become a Boss Rush producer. Where if you want to give us a topic, we'll talk about that topic and everything. And they can find us at bossrush.net. You can find all of our writings there, our articles, reviews, our videos there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I'll also have all the links in the description below. And thank you so much for talking with me today. And the viewers we have on Behind the Joystick, and I will see you guys Friday.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.